What is going on, everyone? Okay, so Master Duel dropped a new type of duel format called the Extreme Duel. A duel where a duelist only has 30 seconds per turn to be able to win the game. So I participated in this and I was able to get the pack, and I got garbage in the pack. But I want to show you some games from it because to me it's an absolutely fantastic way to do it. I'm pretty much obsessed with it. Even though I already got the pack, I've been doing a ton of duels with it because I just love this rule. It is so crazy. Alright people, so here is the first duel. I'm going in with Dark Magician. Dark Magician is a deck that's really effective without too many moving pieces. That way I can risk not pretty much going past the time limit and losing. So my opponent is going to do a set, and now they're going to banish my entire good hand. And my hand is not as strong as the last one, but I can work with it. And again, remember, this all has to be done within 30 seconds, or else you lose the game. It doesn't pass the turn, you actually lose the game. And here I kind of messed up. I should have used the Soul Servant card when this card was activated to put Dark Magician on top. That way I could have had Dark Magician summoned to the field, and at least would have had something. So now I see the opponent is playing some crazy deck because Morphin Jar number 2 and Trickstar Reincarnation. At this point, I'm trying to get my strategy done as well as possible. I want to be able to get Dark Magician on the field and banish whatever is set there because they're playing some type of crazy deck at the moment, and I don't want to deal with their monsters. So here we go, we're going to go summon our Dark Magician, and again, like I said, this deck is able to do exactly what it needs to do without taking up too much of your turn, because remember, you do want to try to win within 30 seconds. And then they're going to bring out the Tragodia, and I was like, I had a feeling they were going to have Tragodia, and now I'm just hoping they don't have like a level 7 monster in their deck, that way they can't take control of my monster. But I do have Skill Drain just in case so I can block the effect if I really needed to. They're going to go in with the Raigeki. I'm going to go and activate the Eternal Soul. It'll protect my Dark Magician, too bad for the Rod, but at least Dark Magician will stay on the field and they can't really do anything. Even if they have a level 7 monster in hand, Dark Magician wouldn't be affected. So right now, they're just going to go hide in defense mode. And I have everything perfectly set up. And again, I don't have to do a lot because the deck just does minor setups. And it's pretty effective. And I don't have to take up more than 30 seconds to do my turn. Now, there are certain times where I have like a crazy good hand. And I could pop off with Dark Magician. But this is good enough. Of course, I'm going to now go in to protect my back row with Dark Magician and Dragon Knight, and this is pretty much the aim of the deck. This setup right here with the Circle, the Eternal Soul, and the Dragon Knight, my back row is protected, my monster is protected. If it somehow goes to the graveyard, I'm able to summon it back, and then I can also banish a card with Circle. So they go in for the Monster Reborn. I thought they were going to try to take my Dark Magician, but of course that would have been dumb of them because Eternal Soul I could have just got it right back anyway. So right now they're just trying to build a wall up onto the field. Dark Magician still comes back out, and I'm just going to banish their set monster since that's the most dangerous card at the moment. And I also want to throw Dark Magician back in the graveyard with Rod. That way I can banish Tamias if I need to during my next turn and just go for game. I could just attack over if I want to as well, but it doesn't really matter. They were pretty much hoping that that Aroma card was going to save them because it can't be destroyed by battle. But yeah, there was pretty much nothing to get around this type of board. They were playing a pretty interesting deck for this type of format. Luckily, Dark Magician has a lot of tools to be able to get around it without wasting too much of my turn. Alright, we're going for the next duel. And again, I'm starting with Dark Magician. I'm playing Dark Magician. Now, I got a lot of things I can do in my hand right now, but remember, I only have 30 seconds to do it, so I have to go as fast as possible. I also have that Quick Play spell card in my hand, and at this point, I keep getting the prompts to want to activate it, which wastes your time. So you have to turn off your activation timing sometimes, just so you don't, like, waste too much time. Last thing you want to do is waste your whole 30 seconds. Because of that, they're going to play Ninjas. Ninjas is pretty rough. They're almost like Dark Magician. They can do a lot, and they don't have to waste too much time as well, but they do pop off a lot more. Now, of course, they're going to get my Eternal Soul, and they're going to put it in the bottom of the deck. So at this point, I want Eternal Soul back. So I'm going to get the Rod to top of my deck, that way I can get it into my hand. But I actually want the Circle because I do want to banish things instead. So yeah, we're gonna add Circle to hand, activate Circle, and I'm hoping for Eternal Soul is gonna be one of the cards. And I think Eternal Soul was one of the cards I had there. I think I put it on top, but I'm not too sure. I don't remember too much. I used Dark Magic Attack, hopefully getting rid of anything that could be detrimental to me. And at this point, I'm wasting time. And getting rid of that Mirror Force card was great. So yeah, I did put Eternal Soul on top, and I had to end my turn. I could have attacked and destroyed those ninjas, but I was on like literally 1 second left, and I just had to pass the turn. And sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to make that choice that you rather set up than make the more optimal play. I was setting up pretty much for my next turn to make me more comfortable. So I'm going to go and use Eternal Soul right now. And luckily that Virus card sent him back a little bit. Now imagine if I was able to attack into those two-face ninja monsters and destroy them and use the Virus card. He would pretty much have nothing. So at the moment, that field spell is very dangerous because if he inflicts any battle damage, he can then destroy my Eternal Soul, which is going to kill my whole combo. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to have to do some disruption. I get rid of the field spell, but he really wants that field spell right now, or she, whoever's playing at this point. So they go into Saizo. Saizo is going to then use the effect so they can get back the field spell, and they want to attack so they can destroy my Eternal Soul. All they need to do is beat over the rod, but they wasted too much time. See, that's exactly what happened to me. I was wasting way too much time, but I figured I had to make the sacrifice. I can't destroy their monsters because I'm going to lose the duel. What this player should have done was probably just set up a back row card instead of going for the field spell. They didn't have enough time to be able to do everything they wanted to do. Same thing with me when I couldn't attack into their monster. So keep that in mind that sometimes ending with a decent setup, even if you didn't do too much against your opponent, is probably more optimal because you're going to lose if you don't finish in 30 seconds. We're going into our next duel, and at the moment I don't have a super strong hand, but I'm going to see how I can try to make it work. And I did a deck building mistake that's gonna, I mean, it's not gonna come out to bite me too badly, but I was gonna make a play here. See, I'm gonna activate this spell card right here. That way I can get Dark Magician Girl and the quick play that destroys all my opponent's cards because I have Dark Magician Girl. But I forgot to put it in my deck, so I had to search out Dark Magic Attack. So my opponent knows I have Dark Magic Attack already. That's not too bad. They're gonna do a set and end. I'm gonna use Eradicate and Call Spell. To me, that's safe. And they're playing Warrock, and I don't know how Warrock works. I never played the deck. I never used the deck. I do know they're more battle-oriented, so it's not a bad deck for this type of format where you need a more straightforward deck. You don't want to go in with a super combo-heavy deck because you're never going to be able to finish you off your turn being able to do anything valuable. Right, I'm going to go into the attack, not even knowing what that card does. He just brings out this big monster, and I'm just staring it down like, I'm like, oops, well, that's not good. So then I get to look at their hand, and they got Mirror Force. So I know they have Magic Cylinder and Mirror Force thanks to my Virus card. I was able to see them. They're going to set both those cards, and I think they're safe because they know I don't have Dark Magician at the moment, or at least a way to bring it out. Because they know that's Dark Magic Attack, and if I had Eternal Soul, I would already set it by now, so I think they think their back row is safe. Too bad for them. I do have a way to actually bring out Dark Magician, which means I'll have access to Dark Magic Attack as well as Circle. Now, I was going to actually use the Preparation of Rites to get the Ritual Monster to my hand, to get the Magician's Soul, to get out Dark Magician, but I already drew straight into Magician's Soul, so I didn't really need to do that extra step. Destroyed their back row, and now attacking with Dark Magician. Now, if they draw into a spell card, it's gonna instantly get destroyed, so I don't really have to worry about it too much. And I don't know much about Warrock, but I got rid of 2 Warrock spell cards. I don't know what they do, but if they're really, really good, then I'm glad I got rid of them. Actually, it was just one. The other one was this one that I use in Duel Links all the time, Power of the Guardian. But this is also a Warrock Dignity. Not sure too much what it does, but it doesn't matter. So they're gonna draw into Command Knight, and yeah, this is pretty much over. So they got this Warrock here. I'm like, what are they going to do with this? So it goes up to 2,600. That could have got over my Dark Magician. But I'm guessing they figured just in case I summon up Dark Magician back, they didn't want to risk the Circle banishing it. So I guess they felt they were more safe with it being on the field. Didn't really matter too much. Dark Magician was going to banish that monster, and they were pretty much left with nothing. Even if they drew a spell card next turn, that would have been really good for them. It would have got destroyed anyway, so they really didn't have much of a way out of it. Alright, so we're back with our next Extreme Duel, and I'm actually switching up into Layer. Layer's pretty decent because they don't do a lot on your turn. They like to play on your opponent's turn as well, and it's pretty minimal stuff. Pretty much you're just tributing one of your opponent's big cards, and that's pretty much it, or you're just setting up your board so you can tribute your opponent's cards. So there's low risk of going into the time limit. They're going to use Harpy's Feather Duster, and they're not going to be able to get rid of anything because I did use Lord of the Heavenly Prison. I don't know if they forgot, but I guess they have a zombie world type of build over here. and my hand is not looking too grand at the moment. So first thing we'll do is summon a tour guide, summon Lilith. We're going to use Lilith's effect. You still have to tribute for cost even though the effect is negated. So I was able to do that so I can bring out Diablos over here. I was able to use my virus card and get rid of a few things, and then we have that Pump Princess over there, which is now going to become a continuous spell card and get counters every single turn. Remember, that's a little hint if you're playing a layer deck, that you can always use your negated Lilith's effect to tribute a monster still. Even if you have layer up, you can still tribute your opponent's monster. You won't get the search off, but you can still activate because it still is cost. And they tribute into Ill Blood, and I have no idea why they just didn't use Rescue Rabbit's effect. I have no idea. I mean, I have Mirror Force, and then I just drew it to Lava Golem, so I'm not too worried about what they would have had anyway. We're going to go for Diablo, so we're going to go for our weakened Lilith attack because that Pump Princess is constantly gaining counters. Alright, so now we set Crush Card Virus, which I'm not sure how effective that's going to be against that deck. They draw into Zombie World. Pump Princess is then going to decrease my monster's attack again. And at this point, I'm thinking I pretty much got this in the bag as long as I can draw into a monster I can fight. And I do see the Harpy's Feather Duster, but when do you ever get to see Pump Princess in action? So I'm like, let's just leave it. Let's just leave the Pump Princess. This is pretty cool. Let's see how many counters Pump Princess can get before I win. And maybe they might draw into a really, really good card. And their Rescue Rabbit is gone. You know, so if they set into like a good back row card, maybe it still would be good to see Feather Duster just in case. But they didn't, so, you know, I'll just keep it right here still. And again, I didn't draw into a monster I can actually summon. And again, it doesn't matter if I destroy the Pump Princess. I wouldn't be able to win in a single attack anyway. So let's just let Pump Princess do its thing. Pump Princess is going to be able to get effect again. And I don't know what they drew this time thanks to my virus card. It pretty much, the time went up on it already. So now I can be worried. What is that face down card? Now I'm going to use the Feather Duster because I don't know what I'm running into. And it seems to be an evenly matched, which wasn't going to help in this situation. They were trying to be a little bit creative with their deck, and you do have to be a little bit creative to play in this format. Unfortunately, Layer is a pretty decent deck, and it can work within the time constraints. Alright, we're moving into the final duel, and again, we're starting, I keep saying start, we're playing with Layer. Alright, so first thing they're going to do is throw it on a Maxi. I have no plans to special summon whatsoever, so I'm going to use a Rima so I can get my field spell, and I can't do anything with the field spell, so I'm not even going to put it on the field and risk it getting destroyed by something like a Feather Dust or anything of that sort. Thank goodness I did that. And they're playing something pretty serious here, so the first thing I'm thinking is, I don't have a great hand at the moment, and they have a pretty consistent deck. So I'm going to throw Maxi so I can pretty much stop them from trying to pop off, because they know I'm playing Layer, and if they let me draw into enough of my virus cards, it can be really, really bad for them. There we go, so Skarmory is going to get destroyed. Skarmory is going to be able to do a search, but they got a search as well. So I'm going to go search into Lilith. I do have the field spell, so I can instantly just get rid of that dragon, and that'll be perfect for me. Magnum is gone. And they're going to use Effect Veiler. So my effect is negated, but at least the cost still went through, and I was able to get rid of his monster. Or her monster. I don't know why I always assume players are male for some reason. And at this point, I can't do anything. So I'm going to just go get my token. I can't run into that, and I already used my Lilith's effect, so I couldn't really do anything. So I'm just going to see what they're going to do at the moment, because I do have Lilith and I do have my virus card. So I can use either one of them. I'm just going to go for Lilith. I'm going to search on Mirror Force or 2 Crush Card Viruses. Either or is going to be great for me. They're going to be able to get rid of my token. They're going to summon another Bysteel monster, and my Lilith is gone because Mirror Force can't be activated right now anyway. they're gonna both get themselves a token because the tribute effect that I got, the field spell rewarded them. Now this is where I start coming in clutch with this. I'm gonna use the Fang of Critias, and we're gonna go into Mirror Force Dragon right now. So Mirror Force Dragon comes out, and since they got my token, they're going to use their Bestial Monster's effect. Forgetting Mirror Force Dragon's effect, if you target it with an attack or effect, it will destroy all the opponent's cards. So I still lose Mirror Force Dragon, but they lost everything in exchange. This is why Mirror Force Dragon is so good, and people don't really know what it does as well. So, and I also have Super Poly on the field, which is great. They use the Maxi. I guess not understanding how my field spell works. You don't just make tokens. You have to at least tribute during that turn. There was no tribute during that turn, and that was over. As you can see, I also drew into the really, really bad Sword Soul monster, but in this deck, it's pretty good because you can special summon it by tributing a monster, and that also means you can tribute your opponent's monster. So if none of your virus cards are valid for any of your opponent's monsters, so you can tribute them, you can use that new Sword Soul monster or the new Kaiser Glider monster. I run both of them in a deck, and they're pretty much like hand traps that tribute your opponent's monsters during their turn if you really need to. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. And remember, all those duels with 30 seconds per turn for both players. So if you go past 30 seconds, you lose. So you got to play incredibly fast and try using decks that are not too combo heavy, but can be effective with not too many moving parts. I'm probably going to try to do more duels in this format because I'm pretty much obsessed with doing it right now. To me, it's the most extreme type of format you can do, hence Extreme Duel. But that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe and let me know how you guys feel about this format. I think it's incredibly fun. It's very stressful as well, especially when you're going down in the time. You're like, oh goodness, I wish I could have done more. But yeah, let me know how your experiences with this format, because I think it's pretty awesome. That's all I got for you guys today, people. Peace out.